Do you keep going when you've been kicked down? Today, we're talking about loss and never giving up. And once again, I'm in the bedroom because, I'm just so tired and, my eyes are kind of, so I've got a little bit of light, but it doesn't matter because you know what? Being polished and perfect and thinking that you've got your life all together and thinking that you've got it all figured out is the biggest lie that you're telling yourself. And it's a lie that I don't tell myself. I know I don't have it all figured out. I know that every day when I wake up, I'm going to be a completely different person than the night before. And I know that if I have been crying all night and feeling in despair, that in the morning I could wake up and be perfectly happy and have had an insight, even in my dreams, that keeps me going. So, it comes back to my main thought. You can't fail if you never give up. And the second one is what else are you going to do? I have had so many losses in my life. I've lost a home. I've lost family members. I've lost pets. I've lost friends. I've had to pick up and start all over many, many, many times. I'm a child of divorce. I'm a child of trauma. There was a time when I was 11 years old when I thought that I was going to have the perfect family, finally, with a perfect stepmother and perfect step-siblings. And then a house fire took them away from me. And overnight, my life changed. And I've lost friends. I've had people who I thought were my friends who turned out to betray me. I have been kicked down so many times. I know a lot about loss. And I know a lot about wanting to give up. I don't share this often, but there's been many times when I was I can't go on. And then you know what happens? I end up living. I survive. I keep going. And things do get better. And I'll probably go deeper with this at a later point. But right now, all I want to tell you is that if right now things are really tough, if you're having difficulty and you don't know how long it's going to go, you just keep crying, I've had those days too. Remember that the best is yet to come because you're still alive. And one day you will look back on those horrible losses, those traumas, and you'll have an appreciation for them. Because they gave you an insight that you didn't have before and allowed you to connect with someone in the future that you help immensely. And maybe it leads to a deep friendship, maybe a business partnership, maybe a client, maybe success beyond your imagining, a book, a course, a legacy. All of it's connected. So Instagram keeps wanting to kick me out of here, so I don't know what's going on, and I'm annoyed by this, but, technology doesn't always work. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to revisit this topic because I don't give up on things when they're important, ever. And I don't give up on people when they're important to me, ever. And when I know something is in my heart and soul, it's going to get out there. So again, I'm going to tell you, if it's in your heart and soul, and it's not just in your head, It's not just a checklist of, well, this should work because of this checklist. Checklists are flexible and they change. That's why I tell my moms not to write a checklist for anything. Because priorities change. Circumstances change. That's why the best compass for your life is not to follow any expert on how to deal with anything, but instead your own compass, your intuition. But I can tell you one thing. If you're being kicked down right now and you're still getting up, you're going to make it. And life is not going to look the way that you thought it was going to look on paper when you projected that image into the future. But maybe what's happening now is making room for something else in the future. Something 10 times what you have now. I mean, my house burned down. My relationship fell apart. I lost a cat. Actually, I've lost quite a few cats. But the first time I lost one of the most precious kitties and I had to put him down, you know what I found out the next day? That I was pregnant with my son. And 6 months before I had to put that kitty down, I'd had another cat that she'd given birth to kittens. Only one kitten made it out of the two. And that cat, we had him for about 7 years. He was a year older than my son. And it was actually really cute. It was a nuclear family of kitties. But when my ex left the first time, he took his cat with him, his male cat. So I had the female and I had the baby, but they were all grown up and they were at the end of their lives. The mom passed in the fire. The baby, if you want to call him that, because he was a big, fat tuxedo cat, he had a kidney blockage that I didn't know about. And a month after the fire, when he had already survived with our little black kitten, Midnight, who I still have, and she's the best cat ever, we found out we had to put him down. So, we had a house fire after a dissolution of a relationship, and then our cats died. We lost 2 cats in the span of 2 months. But even the month before the fire is when I got my little black cat. And she's the best little black cat ever. You know, here comes the sun. It's all right. Everything's darkest before the dawn. But you've got to keep getting up. If you give up, you won't see that sunrise. And I actually had a dream last night about a sunset that was also a sunrise. So maybe that ties into it. I don't know. What I do know is that if you look towards the possibility of a different future that might be more beautiful, and you look at this loss and all the things that are kicking you down as wisdom that you can then impart on others to shine light for them, and you map those failures and use them to propel your successes later, oh, you'll be okay. Some of the most incredible people in my life, whom I love to death, are the ones who've been kicked down by life and even had severe childhood trauma. Because me too. Maybe not at the same severity, and at the same time, it's not a competition. Trauma is trauma. And we're all broken. Every single one of us. Anybody who says they're not broken is lying. Because deep down, there's something there. Never trust a single person who tells you that they're perfect and that you're broken and just need to be fixed. No. We're all broken. So if we're all broken, then every single expert that you're following to try to not be broken, they're broken too. So then who do you trust and how do you keep going? Again, it's in here. You have your compass. There's a myth. Now, it's a misogynistic myth, but it's a myth nonetheless, where there was this first woman that was created in Greek mythology, Pandora, and there was a box. And this box, it was basically, she's going to open this box and she's going to unleash all of the tragedies in the world. Like, yeah. But what was left in the box was hope. Tiny little light of hope. You could have 100 things. Like say, it's a 99% chance that you're going to fail. And so many people look at the 99% and they're like, you know what? I might as well just give up. And they forget about the 1%. They forget about the 1% chance. And often it's not even 99% chance that you'll fail. I mean, there's a lot of people that will throw out the statistics and say there's a 30% chance that you're going to fail. And people are like, oh, that's scary. And it's like, okay, but you're forgetting something. You're forgetting the fact that there's a 70% chance or 75% chance that you're not going to fail. There's a 15% chance of success. Okay. There's a chance. Nothing in life is 100% failure or success. Nothing in life is 100% right or 100% wrong. It's all varying shades of gray. So remember that. It's all gray. There's light and there's darkness. So if there's light and there's darkness, you got to take the good and the bad. And you need to find the beauty in the dark. And that was a lot of things I've had to find the beauty in the dark. And I keep going. Because when something's worth it, I don't give up. When someone is worth it, I don't give up. When a possibility of a bright and beautiful future exists, I don't give up. I'll keep going as long as it takes. I'll create systems and trampolines and safety nets and cocoons for my transformations. But until my last breath, I'm not giving up. I'll never give up. And I don't want you to give up either. If you're losing a lot right now, that means it's making way for something even greater. Trust it. After all, I believe in you. I believe that someone with as great a heart and soul who keeps getting kicked down by life is only going to come out on top in the end. And be able to look back when they take their last breath, when you take your last breath, looking back on everything, all the wins, all the losses, and be like, yeah, this was life. I went through hard things and I imparted wisdom. I shined light and I've made it. and I'm ready to go. I go live. I put my stuff out there. I'm building my YouTube channel. Almost done uploading the videos, and soon I'll be adding the descriptions and everything, and then it'll be ready. And if I got hit by a bus or my house caved in or something happened to me, I didn't wake up the next day, well, I know that those who I love most, who love me, they can go back and they can watch these. Never give up to your last breath. Love hard. Live life to the fullest. Keep going even when things are hard. Map that stuff out. Share even in your vulnerability with those who are going to benefit from your message. And you'll see why it happened that way. I know it's hard right now. It's so hard. It's okay to fall to the floor and cry. It's okay to scream and rant and rail. And then you pick yourself back up and you keep moving forward. And you trust that on the other side of this, there's something. And who knows? Maybe you'll get back what you lost. Maybe if you don't give up, maybe things will turn around. Or maybe they won't. And you'll be okay. Eventually, I promise you, you will be okay. Especially if you have the right support around you. Those people who love you even when you're in your caterpillar soup. Going through your transformation. And are just wondering how you're doing in that cocoon. Knowing that you're going to be an even more magnificent butterfly when you come out. With even more wisdom to spread out into the world. Because you will come out. And you will come out on top. It's inevitable. I know who you are. You're a fighter. You're an inspiration. You have a message. You came here for a reason. And the reason is to be, and to witness, and to live, and to share, and to love. So, go shine your light. And if you can't find your light, borrow from others where you can. And I'm here. I love you. I'll talk to you soon.